There's a very defining moment where I thought that Gerald was going to give up the business.
I've always pinpointed it back to when he was like maybe 5 years old. Well, we were living in Sterling, Colorado, and I was managing a pretty large grain and commodity company. And Gerald would stand there at the chain link fence, just fascinated. One day, my lead truck driver came into the office and he said, Cliff, Gerald wants to know if he could go for a ride in the truck. Do you care if he goes with me? I says, no. Let me call his mom. So we got him all set up, and I said he got the truck bug. I like the word synergism. Certain things happen at a certain time that'll mold the rest of your life.
Yes, there was a lot of beer consumed in the early years of Roberts Excavating. Gerald was in the thick of it with us, which made it easier. You know, you see the owner of the company right there beside you, putting in just as many hours, if not more. And we had found a cylinder of carbon carbide. You add water to it, it makes a settling gas. We had it in our brand new shop out off I-25 for a few months, and Gerald decided that we'd probably better get rid of that before it started the shop on fire. So we'd come up with a plan. We'd just spread it out in the yard, spray it with water and light it. That was probably not one of our more shining moments at Roberts Excavating, because I believe it shot a fireball 80, 90 feet in the air, and I'm sure there was some beer involved in that as well, but that was one of our more stupid ideas, I think.
Having a leader like Gerald, who is humble and kind and caring, just really starts the right tone out at the top. And everyone wants to work a little harder and be a little better, because we know that there's somebody at the top who cares for us and wants us to succeed, and not just for own personal gain.
And I remember one night we were laying in bed and he was staring at the ceiling, and I didn't know what to do, and I just was talking to him about it. I'm like, well, what's our next step? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? And he turned over and looked at me and he said, I can't close the doors. And I said, why? And he said, because the people, these employees rely on this income. It's for their family, it's their food, and how could I be so selfish because it got really hard and I'm really hurt?
It's just the honesty of it. I think maybe I don't have the right words, but I mean, he's going to be successful in his business, and of course, I had a lot of customers, and I had a lot of customers in that downturn in 2008, 2009, 2010 that did not survive it, and Gerald was a survivor.
Gerald made tremendous sacrifices. There's one thing that I remember that I'll never forget. It was a winter day and Gerald had a truck that he had bought, and it was snowing, and we didn't have a shop at the ranch big enough to put a truck in there. And I drove by on 66 and I saw him. He was at his friend's house. He had a tarp over the top of the truck, and he was overhauling a diesel engine in the snow. And I just thought it was incredible, the determination to do something like that. Most people would have hung it up, but not Gerald. Not Gerald. No, I never did doubt his ability to succeed. I worried about him working himself to death. But the weather was never too tough, or the job too tough for Gerald to tackle it. He did this on his own. I'm not in a lot of debt. Oh, my boy, hadn't been for me. No, he was bound to make it.
So I think just the message that I have for Gerald is, I'll try not to cry. I have been blessed to be part of his life for 22 plus years. He has showed me and our children and our family just what being a real man is and what being a man of God is. And he loves us unconditionally. He loves his people unconditionally. And I am so blessed that he picked me to be part of his life.
I envy Gerald that he has, at a much younger age than I, developed the wisdom to get his priorities straight.